Hello. There we go.
I like to think of every horse as a riddle, and that comes from my grandfather, and as well my passion for driving horses. And then growing up with my father, who, he started out as they were dairy farmers in arable. And then my wonderful mother, who is, and I'm very sorry, I have to say a bad word here, she was a townie. Yeah, I'm very sorry about that. I grew up in this bizarre world where I had 6-foot jacked stuntmen on horses walking around the yard all the time, and I was used to horses being laid down or rearing up on film sets, and so it really was this encouragement to go for it. Then when I was about 8 or 9 years old, I saw the great Lorenzo. For anybody who doesn't know, Lorenzo, French guy, stands on the white horses. Jean-Francois Pignon, French guy, on the floor with the white horses. Of course, Lorenzo having white horses, at the time I had 2 white show jumping ponies, and children's logic, that was all I needed. Obviously, that was the trick. So, stood on the ponies, got going doing that, did my first show on them when I was 9 years old, and then apprenticed under a Cossack called Guido Louis, from the age of 13 to 16 to learn the Cossack stuff, and then started my own performance team. And that.
Can I say, for your next book, I really want to have, I didn't suck at it, but I was all right on the back as a quote.
So, like, for me with my journey with horses, my natural personality traits are not helpful in any way, shape or form. So I'm quite a enthusiastic, sort of silly, erratic, high energy person. And for anything to do with horses, especially for Liberty work, it's just the worst thing in the world. We might, if we were going to use, older language to describe it, say that I had a hot seat, if you know what I mean. I was always full on and more about me than the horse. And rule 1, if you're a small person, plug your ears. Rule 1, don't buy into your own bullshit. Is my first thing. I meet so many people who, when they start to do well, that the legend takes over the person. And I think that's always been a big thing for me, trying to not... Like, you'll notice already this evening, I make fun of myself more than I try and make myself sound good. I think the horses will always keep you humbler than any person or anything. So if you want to be as good with horses as Warwick, you need to skydive and cage fight. I've spent the last 3 days on the phone to Britain's Got Talent, having them beg me to go on with the horses. I'm not going on, it doesn't interest me. It really doesn't.
He will, however, be taking his top off soon, don't worry, guys.
But do you think that a big multinational company that makes millions, billions like that would want to put horses front and centre stage if they thought the public didn't like it? I also know that there are companies, big brands working on brand new products that don't exist in the equine market, that they're investing 200-300 million into, that are going to be launching in the next year. Do you think they'd be doing that? So I don't think we need to worry for our enjoyment of horses, but I do think we need to worry about what we do next. And that should be the conversation about how we can, maybe us as adults, maybe we're screwed. But how do we make sure that those people coming out of Pony Club, that those kids growing up at the riding clubs and the riding schools, how do we make sure that they do better than we have? And I think that should be the conversation. I have to wind you up. I really loved that halfway through. And then I was just with Carl Hester, and he said I was really good at teaching Piaf. Just, because going to the Olympics isn't enough. We'll pull the Love Island story out if we get stuck, all right.
Excellent.
So, no, for me, like, what have I learnt the most from horses? So, like I said, right at the beginning, we talked about that idea that I was too, come on! So that's such a big thing for me. So one of the first thing is, just because you've decided, so you've come here tonight, maybe you've always done natural horsemanship, you've never dipped your toe into competitive dressage, and Becky's inspired you to. Maybe you've done pure dressage or something else, you've never done horsemanship, and me and Warwick have inspired you to jump into doing what we're doing.
I'm going to give it a bash. One horse on each leg.
Absolutely.
I mean, one horse on each leg, one leg on each horse.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Double 1 times. It would be sick.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, we'll play. But your poor horse has no idea it's had a career change overnight. So be gentle during the blooming transition. If you've got a job at a bakery and you arrive the next day and it's a bank, you'd be like, what on earth, what kind of matrix world am I living in? So ease your horse into a new thing more gradually. How do I know this? Because I'm the moron. I've made all the mistakes, so you don't have to. So I've made those stupid things where I've taken a pony that I've always show jumped and then gone, today we'll play loose, and the pony's gone, I don't understand. I'm going to eat grass or do the wall of death because you're confusing me. So it's, ease into a new style of work with your horse, not only for their mental health, but also for their physical well-being and all of that. If you don't actually enjoy the process of training your horse, I'm not sure it's for you. I'm going to finish the mares, geldings, stallions thing with a true comment, but a bit of a funny one as well. If you have aspirations to travel internationally, geldings, because it's much bloody simpler. If it can breed, it's spending a lot more time in quarantine. So one of the reasons when people say to me, you've got a lot of geldings, it's like, yeah, I'd rather spend 3 days in quarantine than 3 weeks. Actually, and what I have to point out, if anybody's seen that picture from the showcase thing, I'm wearing this necklace, right? This tribal necklace thing. And the reason I'm wearing it is it's hilarious because a friend made me it out of her Shetland's hoof trimmings. So it's a Shetland hoof trimming medallion that gives me the power of a Shetland. When we were growing up, my granddad, my amazing grandfather, his thing would be, if we rode a horse or did anything with them and it went really well, that horse was brilliant. Didn't that horse go fantastically? Wasn't it amazing? If anything went wrong, me and my dad were stupid apeths. What on earth are you doing? Screaming like that when you fell off it? You'll have really spooked and scared it. I've had the honour and the privilege of appearing at events all over the world, from India, America, Dubai, all over Europe.
Britain's Got Talent.
I don't... Shh, not yet. I don't think I've ever have anybody go so above and beyond to take care of us, look after us, fill all our needs. And I think that's just a reflection of why we're here tonight, which is for the Here for Horses charity. Every person who, especially you, but every person here, you can feel that rich, generous, just love pouring out of them for the animals. Today when me and Warwick were hiding in the living room and chatting away, we saw these guys outside getting murdered by the wind and rain and doing everything they did at their own expense. They didn't care how they feel. It was all about the horses. And that's why we're here tonight. We're here tonight. I hope you've enjoyed it with us. I hope you've had a laugh. Maybe you've learned something. But don't forget that we're here, all of us, because we want to help these horses in the worst conditions.